Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Final Form Cooler and basically my build that I run for Final Form Cooler and just see how good that build can be. Now Final Form Cooler is a pretty interesting character. For the most part he's, one might say, obviously a little bit outdated, but he does have some quirky things that make him really strong. One of them, I guess when he came out, one of the things that made him pretty strong was the fact that he essentially was kind of like soft locking people into rotations, and a lot of people did not like that. There was like a very big agenda for Cooler to be like the best unit in the game, at least when he first came out, for a period of like 2 weeks. And then I think Blue Beast Gohan came out and he basically got completely inundated like immediately. But Cooler is pretty interesting and there are still things that make him really good. He's definitely very good in terms of strike damage. He pairs up really nicely with a couple of Zenkais on the movie Saga's team, and in general he does have a kit that's still pretty functional. There are things obviously that make him not as good an option compared to some other units, but especially now with the Legends Limited boost, he could be a viable option for a couple teams. Now, Cooler himself has a really interesting kit, and I want to talk about that before we kind of talk about his place in the meta. So main ability, obviously he pulls his ultimate arts card next. He gets a bit of health restoration, key restoration, increased arts card draw speed, nullification that enemies restore health when it reaches 0 effects for 20 timer counts, and nullifying special cover change for 20 timer counts. So the main ability is pretty good. The main ability is really solid. It gives him a good presence, and all of the effects that he gets from it and the length of the effects that he gets from it are still relevant for today's standard of meta. So arts card draw speed is definitely good. So many units are reducing it nowadays. He's got health restoration when it reaches 0 nullification. He's got special cover nullification. So all of that's really good. Then when you get to his passive, that 20% extra damage against Super Saiyan, not so super relevant, but still helpful somewhat. 90% to damage inflicted, 40% to strike damage inflicted, 55% damage reduction. All of this is pretty good. One thing I do like a lot about him is the 15% to strike damage inflicted by allies other than this character. Very solid. So that's a very strong ability, kind of, especially when you look at like the team you'd run him on, the unit you'd run him with. The 15% to strike damage is really helpful. And so I definitely think that's a bonus for him. Then when he enters the battlefield, he gets an increase to his arts card draw speed. He gets 50% to his next strike arts damage inflicted. He changes his blast arts cards to strike arts. He restores ki as well, and he reduces his next damage sustain by 15%. Again, all stuff that keeps him relevant in this meta. So again, arts card draw speed up, really important. Blast cards becoming strike cards, tempo control, and also of course that additional ki, really helpful. So again, nothing in this kit is inherently super outdated. The numbers are a little bit lower than what you might expect. It's a little bit lower than what you might expect from the current meta, but he's still really solid when it comes to the actual functionality of the kit. Then in terms of his other passive, he has cover change mechanics. If you cover change against a strike arts card, which is really good. Then he has plus 15% to damage inflicted, which is really good. But then the real big one is this. So applies the following effects every time this character uses a strike arts card. So this restores his health by 4%, restores his ki by 5%, and then what's really big is after landing a strike arts hit, he destroys all your enemy special arts cards. He reduces their enemy ki by 40%, and then he inflicts all enemies with a substitution count lock of 2 timer counts. It only activates once per reset, but it's pretty big. The big thing with it is it allows you easy setup on that unit into any other move. So basically, if someone throws in a unit and you dodge them and you come out and you hit them with a strike arts card from Kula, and Kula then gets the hit on him, then what happens is you can easily set up into pretty much anything Kula has. So you can easily set up into a special move, ultimate move, another blast art card, a green into a blast card. You can do a lot. And so what this does is it inherently kind of sets you up with a really, really good opening window. And that combined with the ability to now use your main ability is what made Kula so oppressive, because it really felt like, yeah, basically he's guaranteed to get the setup on me, and then I can't switch anyone in now because you've got your main ability going off, and it just felt very, very intense. Like, it just felt very intense, you know, from the perspective of having to deal with Kula, having to deal with all of these mechanics, and yeah. And then, you know, Blue Gohan came out and kind of derailed that. But still, a lot of his kit is still very relevant to today. And with the number of really good Zenkai boosts that exist in Red movie sagas, and the fact that he has synergy with Beast Gohan, actually means he's not a bad option. Now, I'm not saying running him over Pan or, you know, a unit like that is going to be a good call. Pan traditionally will do better than probably Kula for Gohan. Pan is more supplementary to Gohan. She brings a lot of stuff that helps Gohan to function, and just in general, you know, she does do a lot of great work. But Kula does also bring something a bit different, and the fact that the Zenkai boosts kind of tally up, and that he now provides the Legends Limited boost, is all stuff that's super important, because the Legends Limited boost now is additional stats. And as much as Pan does perform a better supplementary duty, the additional stats are important, and they will count for both of your units that are Legends Limited, and it adds overall just better performance to your units. So Kula's kit is kind of there for him to be a decent pseudo option if you don't have Pan, or alternatively if maybe you're looking for someone that's a little bit different to Pan. So let's say you don't want to use Pan, maybe you're more into the course of trying to have someone that's a bit more into, you know, dealing with the opposition in terms of oppressive damage. That'll be where Kula comes in. Kula's special move is also a bit better. He's got a bit higher special rate of damage. So all of these things are really, really good. You could synergize up, and you can have a really, really good kind of functionality in terms of Kula's performance. So I really think the consideration is there. Like, you know, in terms of just like general performance. Obviously, synergy wise, yeah, of course there is the concern that, you know, Pan or a more supportive unit is definitely going to give you better results in the long run. But I do think, like, basically, you know, Kula's got a good presence. Like, it's like, for me, still really, really good in terms of like overall performance, and I think Kula's an interesting option. I'm not gonna say that he's like super duper crazy, but I do think that he's solid, and that, yeah, you could get a really good, you know, performance out of him. And if you're looking to counter any yellows, and if you don't even have like Beast Gohan, and you're just looking for a good red for movie sagas, I wouldn't say that Kula is, you know, out of whack. I think he's still a solid option. But that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care, and bye.